that don't know, I'm a huge sports fan. I'm a big sports fan. Since I was little, Dodger and Lakers fan, always sort of never ending. Left the Lakers for a year after they traded Norm Nixon. But I love it all, I recovered. I'm now a Kings fan. I love tennis and swimming in the Olympics, especially the Summer Olympics. And the World Cup, how crazy has it been? I really love sports for so many reasons. The strategy, the training, the preparation, watching athletes in their superior forms, competing. I think it's a pretty amazing thing. My initial love of sports definitely came from my mom and dad and my family, but I think they had a master plan because there were 7 kids. So we were at the gym, on a court, out of their hair, often. I think it was their design. It was pretty masterful on their parts, and I think they were really smart because all 7 of us played sports. I was either at a gym or on a court watching, or on a field watching my brothers and sisters play. And I can remember the first time I held a volleyball. I don't know how old I was, but I tried to bring it home with me, and it was my sister's school's volleyball, and my mom was like, what are you doing? Anyway, I never looked back from that point in time, and I played volleyball pretty much my whole life, all the way through high school. What I know now is nothing made me happier than being on a court and being a part of a team. It's where I thrived, literally where I thrived. And I learned really great lessons, and Mackenzie talked about this yesterday, how runners have told her that you learn a lot of life lessons as you're running and thinking about sort of competing with yourself in running. But I learned to be gracious in losing, and more importantly, gracious in winning, because for me, nothing's worse than a sore winner. Team sports were pretty much everything to me and my family, and we all were fans together watching the Dodgers and Lakers. My parents got season tickets really early on, so we were always fighting to see who could get to go to the games. So this last week has been an amazing sports week if you're a fan of sports. I'm going to recap for you everything I've watched. So Friday, France versus Germany, Brazil versus Colombia, and the Dodgers game. I had to listen to it. Saturday, the women's Wimbledon final. Amazing, this 21-year-old Canadian girl almost went all the way, but she's going to win it someday, I'm sure. She was amazing. Argentina versus Belgium, the Netherlands versus Costa Rica, and another Dodgers game. Sunday was the men's Wimbledon's final and another Dodgers game. Tuesday was Germany versus Brazil in the semifinal, another Dodgers game. Yesterday was Argentina versus Netherlands in the second semifinal game, another Dodgers game last night. So the Dodgers haven't done very well, but that's okay for now. So for me, this has been amazing and fun. It's sort of been a sports fan's dream this last week, especially if you're into soccer. And did I mention that the Stanley Cup is here in LA because the Kings won it all? It's pretty great. It's really pretty great. So even if you can't relate to sort of this idea of being a sports fan, which I think deep down every one of us have that in us, the competitive edge or wanting to watch somebody do a really good job at what they practice for. After Wimbledon, the winner is this gentleman, and I'm probably going to mispronounce his name, Novak Djokovic.
You got it.
Okay. So he played Roger Federer, who's actually my favorite player, and it was this amazing match. They actually played for almost 4 hours. It was amazing. It was the most amazing tennis I've actually ever watched in my life. But after the game, Djokovic was interviewed, and I think it was his first interview. And he said this, and thankfully it was on my TiVo because I rewound it about 5 times and listened to it over and over again. So if you're not a sports fan, what I'm hoping is that you can relate to these words of his. So he said to the commentator, "The momentum shifted onto Federer's side, and I just needed to focus and find the right purpose. You know, find that inner strength, that last drop of my energy, the last bit of energy and inspiration. Try to be in the present moment, try to be aware of the occasion, be aware of where I am. I'm playing the 5th set at Wimbledon. You never know what's going to happen next year, so that's something that gave me strength. I went to the restroom after losing the 4th set to him, and I had a chat to myself. I was loud to myself saying, believe in yourself. you know it's not a cliche. It really works, even when you don't feel it at times, to say positive things to yourself. That's exactly when you should do it. And so sometimes in life, it's not when we're on a court, it's not when we're playing a game, it's really about life. We find ourselves a little bit lost and searching and debating and questioning and really looking at whether or not we can carry on and sort of keep going. And so the reminder from this brilliant athlete is, chat to yourself loudly. Believe in yourself, it's not a cliche. It really works even if you don't feel it at times. Think and say positive things to yourself. That's exactly when you should do it and need it most.